Hello chummies. Here's a quick tutorial sort of summing up all the ideas that we talked about with writing a thesis today in class. What I'm going to do is just again break down this example prompt that I showed you, give you another example with this prompt about like a character's feelings about the past and what that reveals about the meaning of the work as a whole or the theme of the work as a whole. I'm also going to show you some questions that break down the prompts that you got in class, and I will post that slide with a breakdown of like the little questions within the prompt that we need to make sure that we can answer. Another quick thing that I might not have mentioned in our class today, if you fail to answer one of the smaller questions within the prompt, I know we broke it down and we saw that like each prompt had about 3 pieces that we need to make sure we answered in our thesis and then addressed throughout our paper. If you miss one of those questions completely and you don't address it, then like the most you should expect is a 4 because you've only partially answered the prompt. So when we think about this week and the trajectory of this week, I hope that you are not putting in work for an essay that will at the most get a 75 in the grade book. So if you need this tutorial, hope it's helpful. We're going to start by breaking down this prompt as an example that is probably similar to you. So I know that in this prompt I need to find, okay, a character's attempt to recapture the past is important in many plays and novels. This is not important for something that I need to do. So I'm just going to strike through really quick. Like, it's important to frame the prompt, but it's not asking me to do anything. And then choose a literary work. I'm going to choose Homegoing. You're choosing Their Eyes Were Watching God, which a character views the past. Okay, so I need to find a character with a relationship to the past. That's the first thing. With such feelings as reverence, bitterness, or longing. Show with clear evidence from the work how the character's view of the past. Okay, then I need to talk about and establish with evidence how they view the past. That's the second thing I need to do. Is used to develop a theme in the work. This is also probably, it may be worded in your prompt, develop a theme in the work, or how does it reveal the meaning of the work as a whole. Pretty much all of these prompts are pointing to what is the overall meaning based off of like the 2 little questions that you've answered priorly. So I need to find a character's view in the past, pick a character first, establish how that character views the past and their feelings about their personal past, and then develop a theme in the work. So you can do the same thing with your prompt. For example, if you're working on the first one, these are the little questions that you should be asking yourself. How is she in the beginning? How is she at the end? Talking about Janie. How do these changes affect the thematic meaning? If you're working on the fourth one, I know the fourth one's about death scenes, so this whole bit at the beginning about like the most important themes sometimes developed in scenes in which a death or deaths take place. Oh, that's my dog, Batman. That's not asking me to do anything, but then I need to pick a death scene, explain what happens, connect all the things that lead up to it, and then how does that lead to the meaning of the work as a whole. So make sure you picked out all the little questions of your prompt and then just address those things in your thesis. For example, don't start with me, printer. In this prompt, this is again the prompt about the past and one character, their feelings about the past, how does that connect to the work as a whole. We've got Gatsby from Great Gatsby. That's the first part of the prompt, which was to pick a single character. We've identified his feelings about his past romance with Daisy. And then how does that connect overall to the way that he views the future? An unhealthy focus on the past can damage the future. Tell me where in here it brings up the word theme, or this identifies the meaning of the work as a whole as ... No, they just kind of connected their ideas about Gatsby's feelings towards the past to like an overall humanity message, like for all humans, an unhealthy focus on the past can damage the future, not just for Gatsby, but for all humans. When you're thinking about meaning of the work as a whole, like this Mowal or the theme of the work, it should apply to all humans, not just Janie, not just Tea Cake, not just Gatsby, not just Marjorie, like the example I brought up in class today. So, steps. Go to your prompt. Pick out the questions you need to answer out of that prompt. What is it asking you to do? And then in your thesis, make sure that you've addressed each of those things. Because you can very easily forget to connect it to the meaning of the work as a whole, especially if you're working on that first prompt. I can talk all day how Janie has changed from the beginning to the end, but if I'm not connecting it to an overall theme, then I already from the first couple of sentences have not addressed what the prompt is asking for. Have fun writing your thesis statements. Make sure that you post them by the end of tonight. See you tomorrow.